Hey, this is Wolf for Barefoot Bushcraft, and I'm here at a fairly remote site where the person lives in this camping trailer year-round. And in Canada, of course, it's very cold in the winter, and we need some kind of alternative heat. So the Vevor diesel heater is really small, it's really tough, and hopefully it's going to do all the things that it needs to do. It's been installed for a few days, so I'm going to go through step by step what I've done to make this operational and work. The first thing is we removed all of the propane because the person who lives here doesn't like all of the propane stuff going into the building. So that left me with this steel tray right there. So the Vevor heater, of course, is a diesel heater when there's diesel fuel in the tank right there and there's a flame inside. And they don't want the unit in the house because they don't feel that it's safe, and that's okay. So I connected it with those screws right down onto the old propane tank adapter. And you can see it attached right there. Now, the way these heaters are built, for some reason, the intake and the exhaust are underneath the unit. So what I did was I cut this square hole right there in the old propane thing and just ran the pipes down there. So there's my exhaust pipe, and it goes right down there and out, right? And there is my air intake, which you can't really see but from this angle, but there's the air intake right there. So that's basically how it's mounted outside. There is the frame of the unit, and then it has the pipe that actually puts the heat into the house. One of the first things I did was take that miserable heater pipe that comes with this unit, and I threw it away, and I bought a proper aluminized heat pipe from like a local hardware store. And then what I did, just to make sure that this puts the maximum amount of heat into this building rather than lets it gas off in the cold, is I wrapped it, so it's again an aluminum pipe inside here, like a laundry type pipe for exhaust for a dryer, and then on top of that is the aluminized mylar insulation, and then on top of that is the aluminum tape. So there's multiple layers of stuff on there. And again, the purpose of doing this was to make sure that we dissipate as little heat as possible on this pipe and make sure the maximum amount of heat goes in here. The next thing I did for the electrical thing is buy this little thing. You can get this in any automotive section at any kind of hardware store. And that's just a little cover thingy that allows this to make sure that no weather gets in here. I don't know, not that the mouse would come up here, but mice won't eat it or whatever. And basically all that does is just give it a little bit more protection, right? And then of course it goes right in there. Eventually I have to caulk up that hole. So that is our outside. So again, you can see we have our air intake there, we have our exhaust that runs down there, and there's the heater unit there. Now it was mounted outside because the person who lives here, again, they don't want the heater inside, they don't want diesel in their house. So when they stay here, they have it all completely outside. So this here is where the heater comes into the house. You can see it right there. It needs to have a vent put on it. And just under there is the electrical line. The electrical line runs up like that, and it runs over here to a 12-volt power supply that I've fused. And you can see it basically comes out of the wall into the power supply, out of the power supply into the fuse. Some people run different battery setups with this, but the power here is relatively reliable. So this will work, and it's got a little fuse on it. And again, as soon as it starts to leave, you can see I have this plastic cable cover right there on it, just to make things a little better. And then my heater comes right into the wall. And again, you can see this is the aluminum dryer vent-like thing that I bought, and then it has the insulation over the top, just to make sure as it passes through the wall, we reduce the chance of any unnecessary heat transfer or, any danger from heat transfer. So there again, there's the Vevor heater with our sophisticated Rubbermaid cover top there. All it's designed to do is keep the weather off, keep all of the rain or snow off of it, because this area where this is located is snowing. But you can see being outside, it's very, very safe. It's completely, covered up and keeping out of the wind. The other thing was with the Rubbermaid being open on the bottom, that allows it to make sure that the unit underneath there has sufficient airflow. So that is it. There's our Vevor heater in a nutshell. Again, a whole bunch of parts I have decided to replace simply because I didn't really like the parts that came with it, including, that pipe. And of course, I put in a little bit nicer power supply. Anyways, this is Wolf for Barefoot Bushcraft. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. Please consider subscribing.